Dr. Lisa Martinez wiped the sweat from her forehead as she carefully brushed sand away from the strange metal object buried deep in the Nevada desert. The sun was setting behind the mountains, casting long shadows across the dig site. She had been working at this secret government facility for 3 years, but she had never found anything like this before. The metal was unlike anything she had ever seen. It was smooth and silver, but it seemed to glow with a soft blue light from within. As she cleaned more sand away, she could see that it was not just a simple piece of metal. There were symbols carved into its surface, symbols that looked nothing like any human language she knew. "Hey Lisa, you need to see this," called out her assistant, Mark Wilson, from across the dig site. He was kneeling next to another hole in the ground, holding something in his hands. Lisa walked over to him, her boots crunching on the dry desert sand. Mark was holding a crystal that was about the size of a baseball. It was clear like glass, but there were strange patterns inside it that seemed to move and change as they watched. The crystal was warm to the touch and hummed with a low, pleasant sound. "Where did you find this?" Lisa asked, taking the crystal from Mark's hands. "It was buried right next to that metal thing you found," Mark replied. "But look, there's more over here." Lisa followed Mark to another spot where they had been digging. There were more crystals, all different sizes, and more pieces of the strange metal. Some of the metal pieces were curved like parts of a machine, while others were flat with more of those mysterious symbols. As Lisa picked up another crystal, something amazing happened. The moment her fingers touched its surface, the crystal began to glow brighter. The symbols on the metal pieces started to light up too, and suddenly the air around them filled with a soft humming sound. "What's happening?" Mark asked, stepping back nervously. Before Lisa could answer, a hologram appeared in the air above the crystals. It was fuzzy at first, but then it became clear. The hologram showed a star map with Earth at the center, surrounded by lines that connected to other stars. There were symbols next to each star and numbers that kept changing. "This is impossible," Lisa whispered, but she could not look away from the amazing sight. The hologram changed, showing what looked like a timeline of human history. But this timeline was different from anything she had learned in school. It showed humans receiving help from unknown sources at key moments in history. The invention of the wheel, the discovery of fire, the creation of the first computers, all of these events had strange symbols next to them. The same symbols that were on the metal pieces. Colonel Jake Thompson arrived at the dig site just as the hologram was showing images of ancient pyramids and stone circles from around the world. He was a tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes, and he was the military officer in charge of the facility. "Dr. Martinez, what exactly am I looking at?" he asked, staring at the hologram with disbelief. "I'm not sure, Colonel," Lisa replied honestly. "But I think we've found something that's been buried here for a very long time, something that's not from Earth." The colonel frowned. He had been in the military for 20 years, and he had seen many strange things, but nothing like this. "Are you telling me this is alien technology?" "I think so," Lisa said. "Look at this." She pointed to the hologram, which was now showing what looked like a message written in English. The words appeared slowly, as if someone was typing them. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Galactic Consul Federation. We have been watching over your world for thousands of years, protecting you and guiding your development. The time has come for you to learn the truth about your place in the galaxy." Colonel Thompson's face went pale. "This has to be some kind of trick," but the message continued. "You are not alone in the universe. There are many worlds like yours, with people who think and feel just as you do. We have formed a federation to help each other and to protect smaller worlds from those who would harm them." The hologram showed images of different alien species. Some looked almost human, while others were very different. There were tall, thin beings with large eyes, short furry creatures that looked friendly, and others that were hard to describe. "We know this information will be shocking to you," the message went on, "but your world is in danger. There are others in the galaxy who do not believe in peace and cooperation. They take what they want by force, and they are coming to your solar system." Lisa felt her heart racing. She looked at Colonel Thompson, who was now talking quickly into his radio. Calling for backup and requesting an immediate meeting with his superiors, the hologram showed a map of the galaxy with a red line moving slowly toward Earth. The Dominion Empire will arrive in your solar system within 1 Earth year. They believe your world is defenseless and your people are primitive. They are wrong. Images flashed showing hidden facilities all over Earth. There were bases under the ocean, in mountains, and in deserts just like this one. Each base had the same glowing crystals and metal pieces they had found. We have been preparing for this day, the message continued. These facilities contain the technology and knowledge you will need to defend yourselves. But first you must choose. Will you join the Galactic Consul Federation as equals, or will you try to face the Dominion alone? The hologram began to fade, but before it disappeared completely, it showed coordinates. Locations all over the world where more facilities could be found, as the last of the light faded from the crystals. Lisa and Colonel Thompson stood in the desert silence, trying to process what they had just seen. Their world had just become much bigger and much more dangerous. Colonel, Lisa said quietly, I think we need to call the president. Colonel Thompson nodded slowly. Dr. Martinez, I think you're right, and I think our lives just became a lot more complicated. In the distance, they could hear helicopters approaching. Soon, this quiet dig site would be filled with government officials, scientists, and military personnel. But for now, Lisa and Colonel Thompson stood alone in the desert, holding alien technology that would change the course of human history. The stars were beginning to appear in the darkening sky. And for the first time in her life, Lisa wondered how many of those stars had worlds full of people looking back at Earth. President Karen Williams sat at the head of the long table in the White House Situation Room, her hands folded tightly in front of her. The room was filled with the most important people in the government. Defense Secretary Paul Rivera sat to her right, his face serious and worried. CIA Director Amy Foster was across from him, reading through classified reports with a deep frown. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, President Williams said slowly. Dr. Martinez found alien technology in Nevada that claims Earth is part of some galactic federation and we're about to be attacked by hostile aliens? Colonel Thompson stood at attention near the big screen at the front of the room. Yes, Madam President. We've confirmed that the technology is real. Our best scientists have examined it and it's definitely not from Earth. And these friendly aliens want to meet with us? Asked Paul Rivera. According to the message, they've been watching us for thousands of years, Colonel Thompson replied. They want to discuss Earth joining their federation officially. Amy Foster looked up from her papers. How do we know this isn't a trap? Maybe these so-called friendly aliens are actually the ones planning to attack us. Dr. Lisa Martinez, who had been brought to Washington to explain her discovery, stepped forward. Director Foster, I've been studying the artifacts for weeks now. The technology they've shared with us is incredibly advanced, but it's all been helpful. They could have hurt us already if they wanted to. What kind of help? President Williams asked. Lisa pulled out a small device that looked like a crystal tablet. They've given us the cure for 3 different types of cancer. They've shown us how to make clean energy that doesn't harm the environment. They've even helped us understand how to grow food in places where nothing used to grow. Paul Rivera leaned forward. That's all very nice, but what about weapons? What about defending ourselves? They've shared some defensive technology, Lisa admitted. But they say they want to meet with us first before sharing anything more advanced. President Williams rubbed her temples. She had been president for 2 years, but nothing had prepared her for this situation. Where do they want to meet? There's a hidden facility in Colorado, Colonel Thompson said. It's been there for hundreds of years, but it's been inactive until now. The aliens say their representative is already there, waiting for us. Just one alien? Amy Foster asked suspiciously. The message said they're sending their best diplomat, Lisa explained. Someone who has studied human culture and can speak our language. President Williams looked around the room at her advisors. What do you all think? Paul Rivera was the first to speak. Madam President, This could be the most important moment in human history. If these aliens are really friendly and can help us defend ourselves, we need to take this seriously. Amy Foster shook her head. I still think it's too dangerous. We don't know anything about these creatures. They could be lying about everything. But what if they're telling the truth? Asked Dr. Martinez. What if there really is a hostile alien force coming to attack Earth? We need all the help we can get. President Williams was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. I'll go to Colorado to meet with this alien representative. But I want full security, and I want our best military people there with me. Madam President, I don't think you should go personally, Paul Rivera said. It's too risky. Paul, if we're about to join a galactic federation, they need to know that Earth's leader takes this seriously, the president replied. Besides, someone has to make the first move. 2 days later, President Williams and her team flew to Colorado. The facility was hidden inside a mountain, and it looked like it had been built with technology far beyond anything humans had created. The walls were smooth and white, and they seemed to glow with their own light. As they walked through the corridors, Colonel Thompson explained what they had learned. The facility has been powered by some kind of energy source that never runs out. Our scientists are still trying to figure out how it works. They came to a large room with a high ceiling. In the center of the room stood a figure that was clearly not human, but not completely alien either. The being was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large, kind eyes. It wore simple white robes and moved with grace and dignity. Welcome, President Williams, the being said in perfect English. I am Ambassador Zethkari of the Valorian people. I represent the Galactic Consul Federation. President Williams stepped forward, trying to hide her amazement. Ambassador Zethkari, thank you for meeting with us. The pleasure is mine, Zethkari replied with what might have been a smile. I have studied your species for many years. Humans are remarkable people. Our people have many questions, President Williams said. Of course. Please ask me anything you wish to know. Dr. Martinez stepped forward. Ambassador, the message said you've been helping humanity for thousands of years. How? Zethkari nodded. We have inspired your greatest thinkers and inventors. When Leonardo da Vinci dreamed of flying machines, we whispered ideas into his sleeping mind. When your scientists discovered electricity, we guided their experiments. When your doctors learned to cure diseases, we helped them understand the human body. But why? Asked Amy Foster. Why help us at all? Because every species deserves a chance to grow and learn, Zethkari replied. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders, but it can also be dangerous. Young civilizations need protection and guidance. Paul Rivera stepped forward. What about this Dominion Empire? Are they really coming to attack us? Zethkari's expression became serious. Yes, the Dominion believes that might makes right. They conquer worlds and take their resources. They enslave the people they find useful and destroy those they don't. How long do we have? President Williams asked. Less than 1 Earth year, Zethkari replied. But if you join the Federation, you will not face them alone. We have ships and weapons that can protect Earth. What do you want in return? Amy Foster asked. Nothing more than friendship and cooperation, Zethkari said. The Federation is not an empire. We are a group of equals who help each other. President Williams looked at her advisors, then back at the alien ambassador. What happens next? You must decide, Zethkari said. But know this, the choice you make will determine not just Earth's future, but the future of all humanity. The room fell silent as everyone considered the enormous weight of the decision that lay ahead. General Ryan Clark stood in the Pentagon War Room, staring at the large screens that showed space around Earth. For the past month, the screens had been showing empty black space with stars. But now there were new dots of light moving toward their solar system, and those dots were not friendly. How many ships are we looking at? General Clark asked the technician operating the alien monitoring equipment. At least 50 large vessels, sir, replied Lieutenant Susan Harris, who had been trained to use the Federation technology, and probably twice that many smaller ships. Ambassador Zethkari stood beside General Clark, his blue skin looking pale in the dim light of the war room. "The Dominion fleet is larger than we expected," he said quietly. "War Commander Thane is leading them personally." "Who is this Thane?" asked General Clark. "He is the most dangerous military leader in the Dominion," Zethkari replied. "He has conquered over 30 worlds. He takes pleasure in destroying civilizations that resist him." Dr. Lisa Martinez, who had become the main translator between humans and the Federation, looked up from her crystal tablet. "The Federation Council is meeting right now to discuss what to do about Earth." "I thought they already decided to help us," General Clark said. Zethkari shook his head sadly. "The Council is divided. Some members believe humans are too young and too aggressive to join the Federation. They think you will cause more problems than you solve." "What do the others think?" Lisa asked. "Others believe that humans have special qualities that make them valuable allies," Zethkari replied. "Your species is very good at solving problems in ways that no one else thinks of. You are also very brave when facing danger." General Clark walked over to another screen that showed the hidden alien facilities around Earth. "What about the defense systems you've been building? Can't we use those to protect ourselves?" "The defense systems are old and not very powerful," Zethkari admitted. "They were built to hide Earth from casual observation, not to fight a full military attack." Lieutenant Harris looked up from her console. "Sir, we're getting reports from our space monitoring stations. The Dominion fleet will reach the edge of our solar system in less than 6 months." General Clark felt his stomach tighten. "And how long will it take for the Federation to decide whether to help us?" "The Council could debate for months," Zethkari said. "Political decisions in the Federation are made slowly and carefully." "We don't have months," General Clark said firmly. "We need to start preparing now." Over the next few weeks, secret meetings were held in government buildings around the world. President Williams spoke with the leaders of other countries, trying to explain the situation without causing panic. Some leaders believed the story and wanted to help. Others thought it was all a trick by the United States government. In Russia, President Petrov laughed when he heard the news. "Americans always think they are the center of the universe," he said to his advisors. "This is just another way for them to try to control other countries." In China, the government was more careful. They sent their own scientists to examine the alien technology. When they saw that it was real, they began making their own plans. Meanwhile, Scout Captain Ben Murphy was living aboard a Federation ship that was hidden behind the moon. Ben had been an Air Force pilot before volunteering for the exchange program. He was the first human to see how the Federation really worked. "The ship is amazing," Ben reported during his daily video call to Earth. "It's like a small city flying through space. There are over 300 people from 12 different species living here." "What are they like?" asked Dr. Martinez, who was watching the video call from the Pentagon. "They're all different, but they're all friendly," Ben replied. "There's a species called the Cathani who look like giant cats, but they're really smart engineers. The Morden look like walking trees, but they're excellent doctors. And there are others who are even stranger. What do they think about humans?" "General?" Clark asked. Ben smiled. "They're curious about us. They've never met a species that fights so hard to protect their home. Most species either join the Federation quickly or get conquered. We're the first ones to say we want to fight alongside the Federation instead of just hiding behind them." "Is that good or bad?" Lisa asked. "The ship's captain says it's good," Ben replied. "He thinks humans could teach the Federation new ways to fight. But he also says some Federation members are worried that we're too violent." Back on Earth, the Federation Council was still debating. Ambassador Zethkari received daily reports about the discussions. The news was not good. "The Altarians think humans are too dangerous," he explained to President Williams during a private meeting. "They believe you will drag the Federation into unnecessary wars." "What about the others?" President Williams asked. "The Valorians support you, as do the Cathani and several smaller species," Zethkari replied. "But the Council needs a 2/3 majority to approve new members. And right now? President Williams asked. Right now, the vote would be very close, Zethkari admitted as the weeks passed. The Dominion fleet grew closer. The alien monitoring systems showed that War Commander Thane's ships were preparing for battle. They were arranging themselves in attack formations and charging their weapons. Then suddenly, everything changed. The Federation Council made an announcement that surprised everyone. We have decided to offer Earth provisional membership in the Galactic Consul Federation, the message said. This membership will become permanent if humans can prove their worth by contributing to the defense against the Dominion. General Clark looked at the message with mixed feelings. So we get to join the Federation, but only if we help fight a war. It's better than facing the Dominion alone, Zethkari replied. And it means the Federation will share their military technology with you. What kind of technology? General Clark asked. Zethkari smiled. The kind that will give Earth a fighting chance. Within days, Federation ships began arriving at Earth. They brought weapons, shields, and most importantly, knowledge about how to fight the Dominion. Human pilots and soldiers began training with alien technology, learning to use weapons that could destroy entire ships with a single shot. But the Dominion was coming fast. And there wasn't much time to prepare. War Commander Thane's fleet was now only 2 months away from Earth, and the real battle was about to begin. Secretary of State Helen Brooks stood before the United Nations General Assembly. Looking out at representatives from every country on Earth, the Great Hall was completely silent as she prepared to speak. This was the moment that would change everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Helen began, her voice steady despite the enormous weight of what she was about to say. What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but it is the truth. We are not alone in the universe. A murmur went through the crowd, but Helen continued. For the past 3 months, the United States government has been in contact with representatives of an alien alliance called the Galactic Consul Federation. They have been watching over Earth for thousands of years, and now they are offering us membership in their organization. The French representative stood up. Madame Secretary, this is ridiculous. Do you expect us to believe in flying saucers and little green men? Helen nodded to her assistant, who activated a holographic projector. Suddenly, Ambassador Zethkari appeared in the center of the assembly hall. Many delegates gasped and some stood up in shock. Greetings, leaders of Earth, Zethkari said calmly. I am Ambassador Zethkari, and I represent over 200 species who have joined together in peace. We invite humanity to join us. The British representative was the first to speak. This is this is really happening, isn't it? Yes, Helen replied, and there's more. A hostile alien empire called the Dominion is approaching Earth with a large fleet. They plan to conquer our world and enslave our people. The Federation is offering to help us defend ourselves. The Russian delegate, Viktor Petrov, stood up angrily. How do we know this is not an American trick? How do we know these aliens are not working with the United States to control the world? Ambassador Zethkari turned to face the Russian delegate. Mr. Petrov, your concerns are understandable. But consider this, if we wanted to control Earth, we could have done so at any time during your history. We have technology that is thousands of years more advanced than yours. To prove his point, Zethkari gestured, and suddenly the entire assembly hall filled with images of Federation technology. Ships that could travel faster than light, cities that floated in the clouds, and machines that could heal any disease. We do not want to rule you, Zethkari continued. We want to help you grow and learn, just as others helped us long ago. The Chinese representative, Dr. Wang Li, leaned forward. What exactly do you want from us in return? Only your friendship and cooperation, Zethkari replied. The Federation is not an empire. Each member species governs itself. We come together only to help each other and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. But not everyone was convinced. Over the following days, several countries announced that they would not accept the alien offer. The Iranian government declared that the whole thing was a Western conspiracy. The North Korean leader said that his country would fight any aliens who tried to land on Earth. This division worried General Clark, who was now in charge of coordinating Earth's defense. "We need everyone working together," he told President Williams during a meeting at the Pentagon. "If some countries refuse to cooperate, they become weak points that the Dominion can exploit. What about the countries that do want to help?" President Williams asked. "The European Union is fully on board," General Clark replied. "Japan, Australia, and Canada are sharing all their technology with us. Brazil and India are training their military forces with Federation equipment." Meanwhile, Scout Captain Ben Murphy was continuing his exchange program aboard the Federation ship. He had been learning about Federation military tactics and sharing information about human fighting methods. "The Federation has never seen anything like human pilots," Ben reported during his daily video call. "Captain Veltar says we fly in ways that no one else would even think of trying." "What do you mean?" asked Dr. Martinez. "Well, Federation pilots are very careful and precise," Ben explained. "They follow strict rules about how to fly their ships, but human pilots are willing to take risks that other species won't take. We're unpredictable, and that makes us dangerous to our enemies." "Is that good or bad?" General Clark asked. "It's very good," Ben replied with a grin. "The Federation's military advisors think that human unpredictability could be the key to defeating the Dominion. They've never faced an enemy that fights the way we do." As the weeks passed, more Federation ships arrived at Earth. They brought advanced weapons, energy shields, and most importantly, they brought teachers. Federation scientists worked with human engineers to build new types of spacecraft that combined alien technology with human design ideas. The results were impressive. The new ships were faster and more maneuverable than anything the Federation had built before. They could change direction quickly, make sudden attacks, and escape from dangerous situations in ways that surprised even their Federation designers, but the political situation on Earth was getting worse. The countries that had refused to join the alliance were now actively trying to stop other countries from cooperating with the Federation. Some were even threatening to attack the facilities where humans and aliens were working together. "This is exactly what the Dominion wants," Ambassador Zethkari explained to President Williams. "They succeed by dividing their enemies. When a world fights against itself, it becomes easy to conquer." "What can we do?" President Williams asked. "You must show the world that cooperation with the Federation brings benefits," Zethkari replied. Let them see the medical advances, the new technology, the solutions to problems that have troubled humanity for generations." So the Federation began sharing more of their knowledge. They showed how to grow food in deserts, how to clean polluted water, and how to generate unlimited clean energy. Countries that had been struggling with poverty and disease suddenly found solutions to their problems. Slowly, more nations began to change their minds. When the people of these countries saw their neighbors becoming healthier and more prosperous, they began to pressure their governments to join the Federation alliance, but time was running out. The Dominion fleet was now less than a month away from Earth, and War Commander Thane was preparing his forces for the final attack. "The Federation Council has made their decision," Zethkari announced during a meeting with Earth's leaders. "If humanity can prove its worth in the coming battle, you will be granted full membership in the Galactic Consul Federation." "And if we fail?" President Williams asked. "Then Earth will fall to the Dominion, and humanity will cease to exist as a free species," Zethkari replied quietly. The room fell silent as everyone realized that the fate of all humanity now depended on the choices they made in the next few weeks. Admiral Claire Roberts sat in the command chair of the Earth Defense Station, watching the screens that showed space around their planet. Beside her stood Ambassador Zethkari and General Clark, all of them waiting for the moment that would decide Earth's future. "Dominion fleet detected at the edge of the solar system," reported Lieutenant Harris from her console. "War Commander Thane's flagship is leading 57 large ships and over 100 smaller vessels." "How long until they reach Earth?" Admiral Roberts asked. "At their current speed, 6 hours," Lieutenant Harris replied. Admiral Roberts had been chosen to command the Joint Human Federation Fleet because of her 20 years of experience in naval warfare. She understood both human military tactics and Federation technology better than anyone else. "All human ships report status," she said into her communication device. "Pacific Fleet ready," came the voice of Captain Dan Miller from his new ship that combined human design with alien technology. "Atlantic Fleet standing by," reported Captain Lisa Stone from her position near the moon. "European squadron ready." "For battle," said Commander Hans Weber from his ship orbiting Earth. The Federation ships were also in position. Ambassador Zefkari had brought 12 large warships and 30 smaller vessels to help defend Earth, but everyone knew it would not be an easy fight. "War Commander Thane has more ships than we do," General Clark said quietly. "Yes, but he does not know what he is facing," Admiral Roberts replied. "He expects to find a primitive world with no defenses. Instead, he will find Earth protected by the best of both human and Federation technology." On her screens, Admiral Roberts could see the amazing sight of human and alien ships working together. The human ships were sleek and fast, designed for quick attacks and rapid movement. The Federation ships were larger and more powerful, with shields that could protect the smaller human vessels. Dr. Lisa Martinez was also on the command station, monitoring the ancient alien artifacts that had been discovered around Earth. During the past month, she had made an incredible discovery. "Admiral," Dr. Martinez called out, "the artifacts are responding to the approaching fleet. They're starting to activate on their own." "What does that mean?" Admiral Roberts asked. "I think the ancient defense system is waking up," Dr. Martinez replied excitedly. "The artifacts were never just communication devices. They're part of a planetary defense network that was built millions of years ago." Ambassador Zefkari turned to look at Dr. Martinez with surprise. "That is impossible. The ancient builders disappeared long before my people joined the Federation." "But they left this system to protect Earth," Dr. Martinez said, "and I think it requires human DNA to activate fully." Before anyone could ask more questions, the Dominion fleet appeared on their screens. War Commander Thane's ships were massive and dark, designed to strike fear into their enemies. They moved in perfect formation, like a pack of metal wolves approaching their prey. "This is War Commander Thane of the Dominion Empire," came a harsh voice over the communication system. "Primitive humans of Earth, surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Resist, and you will suffer before you die." Admiral Roberts picked up her communication device. "This is Admiral Claire Roberts of the Earth Defense Fleet. We do not surrender, we do not run away, and we do not die easily." War Commander Thane laughed. "You have no idea what you are facing, little human. I have destroyed civilizations that were far more advanced than yours." "Maybe," Admiral Roberts replied calmly, "but you've never faced humans before." The battle began when the Dominion ships opened fire with weapons that could destroy entire cities. But the Federation shields held, protecting the Earth fleet from the first attack. "All ships, attack pattern Alpha," Admiral Roberts commanded. "Show them what humans can do." The human ships moved in ways that amazed even their Federation allies. Instead of attacking in straight lines like the Dominion expected, they darted and weaved through space like birds avoiding a hawk. Captain Miller's ship suddenly dove under a Dominion cruiser and fired at its weak spots, while Captain Stone's vessel spun in a spiral pattern that confused the enemy's targeting systems. "Impossible," War Commander Thane snarled as he watched. His ship struggled to hit the fast-moving human vessels. "No species flies like this." "That's because no species fights like humans," Admiral Roberts said. Even though she knew he couldn't hear her, the Federation ships used the distraction created by the human vessels to attack with their powerful weapons. One by one, Dominion ships began to explode or retreat with serious damage, but War Commander Thane was not finished. He ordered his remaining ships to attack Earth directly, hoping to force the human fleet to come to the planet's defense where they could be trapped and destroyed. That was when Dr. Martinez made her move. She placed her hands on the largest of the ancient artifacts, and suddenly the entire artifact network around Earth came to life. "What is happening?" War Commander Thane demanded as his ship's instruments went crazy. A glowing energy field began to form around Earth, growing brighter and stronger every second. The field was beautiful to look at, like the northern lights, but covering the entire planet. "The planetary defense system is fully active," Dr. Martinez announced with joy. "It's creating a barrier that nothing can penetrate." War Commander Thane's ships fired their most powerful weapons at the energy field, but the attacks simply bounced off harmlessly. The ancient defense system was stronger than anything the Dominion had ever encountered. "This is not possible," War Commander Thane said, his voice now filled with fear instead of confidence. "Retreat now or be destroyed," Admiral Roberts warned him. "Earth is under the protection of the Galactic Consul Federation, and we will defend our home with everything we have." Faced with a defense he could not break and ships that fought like nothing he had ever seen, War Commander Thane made the only choice he could. "All Dominion vessels, retreat to the edge of the system. We will return with a larger fleet." As the Dominion ships fled, cheers erupted throughout the Earth Defense Station and on ships across the solar system. Humans and aliens celebrated together, knowing they had won an impossible victory. "The Federation Council has reached a decision," Ambassador Zefkari announced with a smile. "Earth has proven its worth. Humanity is hereby granted full membership in the Galactic Consul Federation." President Williams, who had been watching the battle from the White House, smiled as she prepared to sign the Galactic Accord. Dr. Martinez was already being chosen to head the new Department of Interstellar Relations, and Colonel Thompson was selected to lead Earth's first Space Defense Corps. As Admiral Roberts looked out at the stars, she knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning.